Just after 3:30 on Tuesday, June 3rd. Welcome inside the channel. I'm bobtrosset. As always, this is where I bring you Baltimore sports and beyond. If you could, on the way in, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification bell. Glad you guys can be with me. Sarah, of course, as you wrapped up or may have heard as we were wrapping up this afternoon's live stream on the Vault, is heading off to Switzerland for the next 10 days or so. So I will be operating in solo capacity both on this channel and on the Vault, but I look forward to it because there is plenty, and I mean plenty of content to discuss, given the fact that OTAs are underway. The second session is being held this week. Day one of the second session is today, earlier this afternoon. Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken and wide receiver Zay Flowers just wrapped up their press conferences a short while ago, and Todd spoke out on DeAndre Hopkins. He gave a rather bold statement. Zay Flowers addressed his health. Zay Flowers also addressed the presence of D-Hop and the veteran and the value that he brings to the organization in year one with the Ravens. And there's a number of other things to get into as well. But first, another giveaway courtesy of Primary Residential Mortgage. Their continued support of the channel means everything. And as you guys probably saw last month during our schedule release, they are giving away a $100 Fanatics gift card to Baltimore's team store. So how you can enter? Pretty simple. Just comment on their giveaway post. It's on Instagram. You can find that link. That's a pinned comment right now in the show notes. So go comment with the hashtag BobbyB. Comment what your dream home is. Follow at PRMI Mid-Atlantic on Instagram and subscribe to this show, the Bobby Baltimore channel, which you probably already do. Other than that, click on the link or scan the QR code so that they can contact the winner later this month. It's going to be announced coming up later in June, and I look forward to calling another winner. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Again, the link, PRMI Mid-Atlantic on Instagram. You can see it right here. Folks are already commenting with the hashtag BobbyB and what their dream home is. EB5987, Monica, Craig Zero, so on and so forth. Go check it out. And if you're wondering what the hell is on Baltimore's team store, well, take your pick, because when you go to the Fanatics Ravens section, there's a little bit of everything. You got a bunch of 8 jerseys to choose from that are a little north of the $100 gift card, but at least that would turn $130 into a $30 price should you win. You've got some black T-shirts, kind of that meshy material, sweatshirts to choose from, crew necks, all kinds of different things. Framed art print with Ray and Ed, so on and so forth. There's a lot of great stuff, and I want to say thank you to Primary Residential Mortgage for the opportunity to continue this partnership, and obviously for making sure that you guys are taken care of as well, because I know my guy Ryan won the $100 gift card last month, and now it's up for grabs again. So go check it out, enter it in, and it's super simple. It takes less than 5 minutes, and it certainly is appreciated. In terms of attendance, before we get into Todd Monken and Zay Flowers, here's what's going on. The folks that did not participate in today's first day of the second session, you see as follows here by Luke Jones, who covers the Ravens for Press Box. Lamar, most notably, not present. Kyle Hamilton, Ronnie Stanley, Nnamdi Madubuike, Kyle Van Noy, Rashad Bateman, Cheeto Awuzie, Ben Cleveland, Jake Hummel, Sanusi Kane, and the rookie Jones, who should be sidelined up until training camp, perhaps at the least up until training camp. So again, not a surprise after really tremendous attendance last week for the first session. These are voluntary, again, organized team activities. I didn't expect Lamar to participate in every single one of them. I do expect him to get involved and get together with some guys down in South Florida, as he already has been doing with Zay Flowers so far this offseason, being that there is a geographical convenience for the two of those players. So yeah, it's a notable list. There's veterans on here. There's big-time playmakers on here. There's young talent on here. But ultimately, to me, it's not a big deal. And it never really has been a big deal. Unless you got guys that are in the middle of contract years that aren't coming to any sessions, Or what about guys that are perhaps new to the system, right? Todd Monken's system. But there's not a lot of that happening right now. And to me, last week told you everything you needed to know. This team came in, showed tremendous attendance, showed how all in they are at this point. At that point, it was late May. Now it's early June. I'm sure Lamar will structure his offseason in a way that he'll get back there if need be. And ultimately, it's just not something that moves me very much at all. Daniel Fa'alele, he was out last week with what John Harbaugh described as physical things. He was back. So just for those of you who are taking attendance note, just know Big 77 is back out there on the football field. As far as Todd Monken's bold statement on DeAndre Hopkins, here it is. He said he doesn't see D-Hop as a number 3 wide receiver, as so many of us have labeled him as. I know I sure have, behind Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. Monken put a spin on it. He sees it more as the Ravens have 3 starting caliber wide receivers in D-Hop, Zay, and Bate. And while that might be the case, if I'm a betting man, to me, DeAndre at this point in his career, 32 years of age, coming off a season where he was traded at the deadline from Tennessee to Kansas City. He combined for 610 receiving yards throughout the course of those 2 stints in those respective towns and cities. He had 10.9 yards per reception. Okay, that was down from 14.1 from 2023 in Tennessee. He had 5 touchdowns last year between the 2 stops. He's a player that at this point in his career, to me, is going to be used in situational spots. When you need 4, you absolutely need 4. It's 3rd and 4, game on the line, right? 3rd and 4 wouldn't get you there. You need 5 yards, right? When the game's on the line, you're trying to claw back in. You like the matchup that you have in the slot. You want to throw a 50-50 ball up for grabs, right? You want a contested catch guy that's going to be able to give you in a small sample size impactful reps. That's what they're going to get in DeAndre Hopkins. But to refer to him as essentially a counterpart of Zay and Bate, to me, feels ever so slightly ambitious. Do I criticize Todd Monken whatsoever for doing so? Absolutely not. I think this is who he is. He's a player's coach. He's somebody that's going to build up his guys, shoot for lofty, high results and expectations. But I do not view DeAndre at this point in his career as someone that is going to warrant and justify the workload that Zay Flowers deserves and Rashad Bateman coming off of his career season that he warrants and deserves, right? And from a usage standpoint, I just don't think that's the most successful way to utilize DeAndre Hopkins' skill set at this point in his career. It's not to poo-poo him. It's not to demean him. It's not even to doubt him. I'm believing what my eyes are telling me from the last several seasons. I'm believing in what his age is telling me, what the numbers are telling me. And guess what? What the Ravens are telling me, most importantly, based on what they paid him to do, they don't need him, nor will they use him in anything more than what they brought him in to do, barring something unforeseen in an injury category, right? Or something catastrophic happening to the Ravens wide receiver room. And that's the luxury, right? It's a luxurious era of Ravens football because you're living in a world where, yeah, he's 32, but 32-year-old DeAndre Hopkins is about to be a luxury for you and somebody that isn't an absolute necessity to your organization. He's essentially trying to replace Nelson Aguilar's underwhelming production from last year at wide receiver 3. And I think that right there is a positive, optimistic way of looking at the DeAndre Hopkins Ravens marriage, which of course is upcoming and is already underway, being that he was present for last week's organized team activity session number 1. As far as Zay Flowers is concerned, of course, he was not available to the team in that divisional round loss to Buffalo back in January. He was banged up with a knee, which he now says feels great and calls himself 100%. He said that Lamar wants to do more meetings, spend more time off the field together this year. Okay. Lamar continues to ramp up his leadership. Zay Flowers continues to ramp up what he expects from himself.
Just get better every year, do a little bit more than I did last year, and as a team get further than we did last year. So that's kind of my goal, do better, just get better in every aspect of the game and try to push for the ultimate goal, the Super Bowl.
So what does that actually consist of from last year in terms of what he's going to try and one up, essentially? I got the numbers right here in front of me if you're interested in hearing them. 17 games played in the regular season, 15 of which were starts. He was targeted 116 times. 74 of those balls were brought in. 1,059 yards was his first 1,000-plus yard receiving season. And, of course, it was a Pro Bowl honor for the second-year player out of Boston College. In terms of yards per reception, 14.3, an astounding number, 4 touchdowns. And Todd Monken is making it clear that they better have him as a bigger component, a more utilized component, if you will, than they did a year ago because of the skill set that he brings to the table. This audio and video courtesy of ESPN's Jamison Hensley.
We just got to get him the ball more. I mean, that's really it. The problem is we have a lot of those guys. Like, you know, he's an unbelievable football player. You know, he's not only an outside receiver that has elite route running skills, but he's unbelievable with the ball in his hands. So you have like a guy that fits 2 positions, really plays 2 spots. Now, I'm not sure we're going to use that when it's contract negotiations, so we see him as 2 players. But I'm just saying that you can use him in a variety of roles to get him the ball, which allows your volume to go up. You know, he's a volume catch guy. You can use him in novelty screens, getting him the ball down the field. So I expect him to take another leap, you know, in terms of, you know, his consistency. But, you know, when you make it to the Pro Bowl or you're an all-pro, like, you know, you're pretty good. You're pretty good.
Good stuff there from Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken. You heard the man right there, right? Did not mince his words and continues to hold himself accountable in a sense in such a professional way. I love the way that Todd handles his media sessions. I love the way in which he holds such a himself and his players to such high standards. You heard him there. Well, we've just got to get him the ball more. He's unbelievable with the ball in his hands, and yes, expects him to take yet another leap, another step in 2025. What will he be taking a step up from? Well, you just heard me rattle off the 2024 statistics. What about 23, Zay, his rookie year? 16 games played, targeted 108 times by Lamar, 77 of which he hauled in for receptions for 858 yards. That accounted for 11.1 yards per reception, 5 touchdowns. He's a tremendous player. He's shifty. He's explosive. He's strong. He'll run through you. He'll run around you. He'll run, you name it. That's what makes number 4 so much fun to watch, that he's brought an explosiveness and an element of speed that while Marquise Hollywood-Brown brought that element of speed and the ability to take the top off the defense from a deep ball standpoint, he didn't necessarily bring that overwhelming strength and power that Zay can. And so while they have similar measurables, they're different players, in my opinion, for those reasons. So again, Todd Monken holding himself accountable. Obviously, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of mouths to feed as you look around in terms of priorities, playmaking, skilled position players, so on and so forth. Todd has a great problem to have, you know, at his fingertips. But at the same time, you saw what this team was without Zay Flowers in Buffalo. And while they coughed that game up due to several self-inflicted errors, you'd like to think that if number 4 is on the field, there's a lot less chaos. And that Zay and Lamar off-schedule chemistry that they have, right? The rapport, the ability to improv on the fly and do so effectively and explosively and efficiently, I think gives the Ravens just this another opportunity to be so dangerous with that duo. We haven't even mentioned the tight ends. We haven't even mentioned the backfield and the complementary player that Rashad Bateman was to Zay Flowers a year ago. So that is Zay's importance. I'm not sure can be valued to this team. He is as important as any player team wide because of his skill set, because of the stress that he puts on an opposing defense, given what's around him, given what he possesses, and given the type of game that Todd Monken calls on a weekly basis come fall. Zay talked about his overall health, being that, again, he was not available in that divisional round to start off the playoffs simply due to a knee that he banged up towards the end of the regular season. Here's Zay, courtesy again of Jameson.
A lot, but my knee great. I feel 100%. I feel like I'm ready to go. I feel like I'm ready for the season. No limits, so I'm good.
I know you spoke after with locker room cleanup, but just how tough was last season for you, knowing that you had to watch January for that part of the playoffs on the sideline?
Super tough, because when you play 17 games just to get to the first playoff game and you can't play in it, it's always hard. So that was I think that was my first time, second time missing a game ever, and missing a playoff game is different, so it kind of felt a little different. So at least we get to play our first game this year.
I'm sure it did, and they do. Obviously, we all know that opening week, I shouldn't say opening night, but opening weekend, Sunday Night Football, of course, the rematch in Buffalo. It's Bills-Ravens Sunday Night Football to kick things off week 1. But you heard the man. He said, my knee is great. Also went on to express his frustrations and just how difficult it was to have missed a postseason run. Obviously, there was his fair share of heartbreak last year when they lost in the AFC Championship game to Kansas City. He had a costly mistake, as we all remember, approaching the goal line. But to me, number 4 is primed for a massive year. I would suspect that usage-wise, overall, workload-wise, I expect him to receive the heftiest amount of targets. I expect a good portion of this offense to run through Zay. I expect him to be involved in the gadget and trickery game that Todd Monken dials up, in the screen game where he is so incredibly effective. Obviously, the deep ball game as well is something that he and Lamar possess and have just this unspoken level of success and chemistry in. So I don't know how high you want to shoot for Zay. I think he'll do what he said he wants to do, which is best his 2024 self. I could definitely see him going north of 1,100 receiving yards, 5 or 6 touchdowns to go along. But I tell you, when you start to predict the seasons for some of these playmakers and pass catchers, it's easier said than done. Trying to predict Isaiah Likely's season is difficult because he's in the same tight end room as Mark Andrews. He's on the same field at all times with Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. And, of course, a wide receiver room where you have Bateman that is earning the right to be sort of that universally looked at and respected number 2 receiver coming off a career year, right? Not to mention, is DeAndre Hopkins going to make a case for himself at this point in his veteran career? So, again, it's an embarrassment of riches. It's a great freaking problem to have. And every team needs that grizzled vet. Every team needs that wise OG presence. And while in normal years, gosh, DeAndre is young as shit, right? When it's all said in the grand scheme of things. In football years, at 32, DeAndre Hopkins has been there, done that, and Zay Flowers is loving the fact that he's sharing a locker room with one of the great ones.
Real vet, like he know everything. He teach you what he know. He give out the game, and he work hard too. So it's easy to just follow him. It's easy to get behind him and do what he do. So he a great vet, and he great for our group.
So have you seen anything from him that you want to kind of add to your game?
He patient in everything he do. He understand that in practice you got to detail it, so in the game it's perfect. So I've been learning that from him.
Zay Flowers, courtesy of Ravens Productions, just a short while ago. And yeah, it's pretty obvious. There is a universal level of respect for D-Hop and what he has accomplished throughout his future Hall of Fame career. This is a player that, again, at 32, will turn 33 later this week, has just excelled at every single level of football that he's played. He was a first-round pick by the Houston Texans back in 2013 out of Clemson, 27th overall. He spent a good chunk of the beginning part of his career there prior to a stop in Arizona for a few seasons. He spent the last couple in Tennessee prior to be trading last year in season at the deadline to Kansas City to chase a Super Bowl. That came up short, of course, to Philadelphia. And now he is a Raven for a very team-friendly one-year short-term deal. He's a three-time first-team All-Pro. 27 through 19 were those years. He's a two-time second-team All-Pro and a five-time Pro Bowler. Again, it's been a while since he's earned these honors. 2020, both for second-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl. He hasn't been a first-team All-Pro since 2019. He was the receiving touchdowns leader league-wide in 2017. He's got over 900 career receptions, over 12,000 receiving yards, which is the most among active players, and over 80 receiving touchdowns. So the resume speaks for itself. He's a player that has put forth a tremendous amount of productivity. He is respected. He is beloved in a lot of ways. And now the Ravens are essentially just going to try and soak up whatever it is that he has left in the tank. They don't need whatever he has left in the tank, but they could use it in different spots, situationally speaking, this upcoming season. And that is why I look forward to DeAndre Hopkins joining this group, becoming an option and a viable option at that for Todd Monken, using his savvy, using his experience, and going from there from this point forward. Appreciate you guys for being with me on this Tuesday. It's the 3rd of June. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when we're dropping our daily live content. And watch this of Mike Green. He is the rookie second rounder out of Marshall, the edge rusher number 45. Here he comes, getting some drills in. It's a hot summer day in Owings Mills. But Mike Green, expectations certainly are high for a player who many felt would have been a surefire top 10 talent had he not fallen. And fall did he ever, due to the off-the-field issues that some of the teams had around the league. The Ravens get him at 59, and now here they go. It's an edge rusher room, obviously, that has some question marks moving forward. Odafe Owe enters a contract year, as does Kyle Van Noy as a veteran on the other side of 30. What might the Ravens choose to do if Odafe starts to stack? I don't know. But what I do know is they're in a great position. And yeah, while they'd be better maybe with Jadeveon Clowney, I think that ship has sailed. I don't necessarily think that that's the most realistic option for them at this point. And I think in a lot of ways, KVN will embody, right, and try to provide what Jadeveon Clowney gave them in 2023. Do I think that Kyle is capable of doing so? I think he showed exactly that and more the last two resurgent seasons since the Ravens brought him in season prior to the London game, if you go back to 2023. So, look, in a lot of ways, this is a complete roster. I think it's up there with the Philadelphias, the Detroits of the world, right? And they're going to be playing in a murderer's row type of set to begin this season. Strength of schedule is through the roof. They don't travel a lot in terms of mileage, but strength of schedule is through the roof. It's a first place schedule after yet again winning the AFC North, right? You got tough opponents, tough primetime matchups, beginning with Buffalo on the road, opening night, or at least opening weekend, Sunday Night Football in Western New York. But to me, this is a team that is one really veteran safety away from being pretty darn near complete. And based on some of the numbers that Brian McFarland noted, being the post-June 1 designations officially hit earlier this week, they got about $5-6 million to play with when you put aside the slush fund and the practice squad payments and everything else they owe in order to put them, one, in compliance, cap compliant, and also get them to the start of this 2025 season. So much like they did around this time last year, do not be surprised if they bring in an Eddie Jackson type. I know that probably gives you PTSD because what a disaster of a situation that was. But do not be surprised if a veteran safety is signed for some Malachi Starks insurance, some competition, and overall some depth at a position that on paper is very intriguing with Kyle Hamilton. Yes, you got the first rounder in Malachi Starks, who is believed to have a high floor, having played some really meaningful football for several years at Georgia. And yeah, you got a couple no longer rookies, soon to be second-year players in Sanusi Kane, their seventh rounder out of Purdue from a year ago. And of course, the undrafted rookie, the local player, Bo Braid, who played his college football at Maryland. Aside from that, sure, you got a couple minor little holes, but it's a great situation to be in if you're the Ravens. And ultimately, you know they're going to run the table or at least have a tremendous amount of success in the regular season. What will this team become and how will they pressure manage come the month of January? And obviously, that remains to be seen. I want to say thank you to Primary Residential Mortgage, who yet again, for another second consecutive, I should say, month, is giving away a $100 Fanatics gift card to Baltimore's team store. A quick message for them before I let you know how to enter. Are you drowning in credit card debt? Your home could be the solution. PRMI's home equity loan may help you. It'll lower your interest rate, consolidate into one easy payment for you, free up monthly cash flow. You can talk options right now with Primary Residential Mortgage. They will help you take control. And the bonus for you is that you have a chance to enter to win a $100 Fanatics gift card, again, to Baltimore's team store. How do you enter, you ask? Click on the link that right now is a pinned comment in the live chat. If you're on Twitter, come on over to the YouTube space. You'll see it in the live chat, and it'll bring you directly to, not my Hey now, where'd he go? Where did he go? I'm back. Sorry about that. Look, it'll take you to Instagram. Yes, Teal, that's what I get for multitasking. And it's also difficult when you don't have your partner next to you as well, which is always a great crutch. If you click on the link that's in the show notes right now, it's also a pinned comment in the live chat. It'll take you to PRMI Mid-Atlantic's Instagram post. This is your giveaway. This is what you need to do. Use the comment, leave the comment with the hashtag BobbyB and whatever your dream home is. It's as simple as that. Then follow the account, subscribe to Bobby Baltimore. It's really as simple as that. You'll be entered in, and the winner will be announced later this month. Again, it is a $100 gift certificate to Baltimore's team store. It's Fanatics, and if you're wondering what the hell is an option on there, well, look no further. Again, the Baltimore section of Fanatics gives you a little bit of everything. Hoodies, Kyle Hamilton jerseys. This is actually a sick retro. Is it retro or what's a Ranchero? I like the 47 brand, though. This is a dope hat right here. Can we agree? This is a dope hat. I mean, seriously. $37.99. You can get that, and you can get a robe. Get a little crew neck pullover. Lawn chair. You can put any name on a jersey. I mean, there's so many different ways to mess around on Fanatics. Workout shorts, Lamar and D Hen jerseys. Turn that 130 some into $30 with the $100 gift card. There's another hat, snapback. This is some filthy stuff right here. I have to put myself in. I wouldn't do that. Appreciate you guys. Not going to do the full hour streams just over the next 10 days, being that Sarah obviously is in Switzerland. I'm going to have a lot more on my plate. So I look forward to continuing our conversations, really not skipping a beat whatsoever with the content. And that begins tomorrow. That continues tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, inside the vault. That is Wednesday the 4th. So on your way out, if you could like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all the things that help this channel go. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for dropping by. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll catch up with you at 12 noon Eastern tomorrow, if not before. Special thanks to Primary Residential Mortgage for the support. Go check that out. Enter yourself in for a $100 Fanatics gift card. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon.